I was really worried about Darktide. After being at first announced in July 2020 with a kick-ass cinematic trailer, we heard absolutely nothing. Just like the Avatar, Darktide vanished. But finally, after many years of silence, as in 2, they finally resurfaced with another kick-ass trailer. That included not only gameplay, but a release date in sight. In case you aren't aware of what Darktide is and are incredibly confused right now, let me fill you in. Darktide is set in the Warhammer 40k universe, and is a first-person hack-and-slash action game. The developer, Fat Shark, had previously worked on Warhammer's Vermintide 1 and 2, which were both smash hits. 2 especially. I myself am a massive fan of their work, but I wasn't really a huge Warhammer fantasy fan. So when I caught wind of Darktide, a Warhammer 40k version of Vermintide, which is the sci-fi equivalent for you newbies out there, the more they announced, the more goddamn excited I got. Allow me to break down what you can expect from Darktide based on the information we have been given so that you can know what to expect and make an informed decision on whether you want to pre-order or not. First, let's talk gameplay. Vermintide has a heavy emphasis on melee combat and is widely considered the game with the best melee combat ever. For Darktide, it seemed developer Fat Shark wanted to put an equal emphasis on ranged combat. Whilst Vermintide did have some ranged options, it was far from the funnest option and a little jank at times. I believe one of the developers said it best, stating, "When I started working at Fat Shark, my colleagues shared an exciting proposition. We wanted to do first-person melee, but good. Like really good, and in co-op over network." I asked if we had a good example of another game to set the level of expectation for the scope. We quickly concluded that no, there's probably none. I had previously worked with many combat mechanics, but mainly in a single player capacity. So all the minor tweaks and tricks you employ to make a punch feel impactful usually rely on time manipulation or slowdowns to get it right. You can't do that in multiplayer. Most of the tells and interfacing we create require a good, clean view of the enemy. We wanted scores of enemies on screen. So looking at that, we gave a silent Swedish nod of, "This might get tricky," and then built the Vermintide combat. Also, I just love how this developer talks. I just really wanted to put, "We gave a silent Swedish nod." It's my favorite sentence now. Whoever it was that wrote this, I didn't see a credit on there. I did look for one. If I missed it, that's my bad. I will fix it in the description of this. I'll put a link to the post so that you can read it yourself if you're interested. This guy does a really good job talking about how he wants the combat to work and look like. You can tell he's really been a part of this, and I think he did a really good job talking about it. Let's move on from the Swedish nod. All that to say that I'm fully confident in their capability to create fun and engaging ranged combat that won't feel out of place with the slick and satisfying Vermintide head bashing alongside it. Now let's talk the social aspect. Vermintide 2 had a missed opportunity in its hub. It had a space where you and the players that you queued with could kind of walk around and shop and open your loot crates and such, instead of being a social hub with some small mini games and a space to show off your hard-earned cosmetics with players from all over. This has been a complaint forever. The lack of a larger social feeling. It seems Darktide wishes to right these wrongs. Fat Shark heard, and they plan to deliver what sounds like a tavern in which you and all other off-duty rejects can kick back and relax with some minigames, booze, and cosmetic flexing. This sounds great to me, to be entirely honest. I would love a solid social hotspot to connect with other Darktide players as we pass from mission to mission. Honestly, this slides pretty well into the next aspect I want to talk about: customization. Now let's talk about the main point of contention for some people. Vermintide featured 5 main characters, each having 2 or 3 subclasses. Now the most beloved part for a lot of people is the banter each of these characters had with each other. And so when Darktide announced that there would no longer be set characters but a full-fledged character creation system, there was some understandable unrest. Many believed Darktide would miss that charm of the characters in Vermintide, and miss that realism that it brought into the game and its characters. But it seems Fat Shark has put a lot of money into making sure that this is not the case, offering up many different voices and personalities to choose from that will all interact with each other differently. I have full confidence in their ability to pull this off well. Now let's get a little deeper into how the customization itself works. When you boot up a new character, you will first be greeted with choosing your crime. What got you here? Why are you a reject? I always love when games do this, so this immediately had my interest piqued. After you select select all your facial options, including but not limited to tattoos made of, and I quote, burned boot heel ink and locally collected gutter oil. Which, I don't know about you, I wouldn't want that shit in my skin. But to each their own, I suppose. They wanted to stick to a distinct visual style and make sure that their creator encouraged players to make someone that would fit within the 41st millennium. Which means, sorry guys, I don't think you'll be able to play a massive pink ogren with penis freckles. Okay, you're right, penis freckles do go kinda hard. Get it? Hard. Kinda hard. Penises. It's funny. Alright, now let's get on to the concerns I have about this game. If I have any concerns, it's mostly about the in-game cash shop. Now, Darktide will have two currencies, Aquila's and Tertium. I swear, every video I make has me mispronouncing something. I'm gonna call them Tertium, even though I'm certain that's wrong. Aquilas are the premium currency that allows for players to buy in-game cosmetics and DLC content, whatever that means. Tertium twins are earned through story progression and are used to unlock and upgrade gear and weaponry. Now, Vermintide had a similar system, and its store was cosmetics only, other than some DLC subclasses. My main hope is that Darktide follows that precedent, but my main fear is that this shop will be too tempting to keep buyable weapons and gear out of it. But I'm optimistic, and I hope that Fat Shark won't betray us like that. They may be grantedly vague, but they haven't betrayed us like this in the past, so I suppose we will just have to see. Thank you so very much for watching. Since you made it this far, would you consider blasting a bolter-sized hole into that like button over there? And if you like content like this and want to see more, put a chainsword to the neck of that subscribe button. Yeah, just really grind it on its neck there. There you go. Please, okay, thank you, bye, I love you, have a good day, don't stop.